Hey guys, good morning. I'm down at the house. Well, we're down at the house. Scott's sitting in the other room watching stuff, and I thought I would come on and just say hello and good morning. I'm sitting in the kitchen at the house. Got the dishwasher running. I'm sorry if that's too loud and annoying for somebody, but I thought I would just come on and see if you guys wanted to chat. Hi, Diane. How are you? I'm going to move it so you don't see the junk room. Hi, Mary. How are you? Got my hair cut. I couldn't take it any longer. And the girl said she tried to undercut it so it would all curl under. I said, no good. I said, one side will curl under and one side will curl up. There's nothing you can do. Hi, Gray 8. But we've been down here since yesterday. Hi, Barb. And I've been doing little clips along the way. So we'll have a video about, house updates at the end of the weekend. We're hoping to finish getting the primer on the great big front room. Hi, Ian. And I was going to set up in there, but then I figured this would be better. The lighting's better in the kitchen than in that front room anyway. So what's everybody up to? I didn't see anybody live except Mrs. Volfe up at Half Acre Homestead, and she was working on a quilt. And I decided I would just come on live. I would like to sit and watch her, but if I get too involved with watching her, I won't get any work done. So I came on live instead of doing work. And I saw Janet's artist trading cards on the Facebook, and I need to make some artist trading cards because I told her I'd love to swap for one of those. Barb, is the snow melting up with you, or did you get more snow? For breakfast, we had our coffee and biscuits and ham and eggs this morning. Scott loves a big breakfast. It gets him going and it keeps us going so we can work longer than if we, eat a light breakfast and then have to stop for lunch. We just push our lunch farther down in the day. You've been watching Mary all day. I watched Mary's bank book flip while I was cooking breakfast. Oh, that's so good to hear. Yeah, Mary, sometimes I'll go and the yarn will be great. It'll be like 89 cents a skein. And then the next day I go and it'll be like, here's a skein that was priced the day before at 89 cents. And then somebody else came in and priced it at $2.89. I told Scott, I said, I'll just buy the ones that are marked 89 cents. I won't pay more than $2 a skein. I just won't. Hi, Kathy's Crafty Friends. I think you're new to my channel. Welcome. Scott's checking his work in the front room. It might need to dry a little bit more before I can prime it, but we'll see. I had to laugh at Scott, though. Yesterday, we were both really tired. And we were making a list for Home Depot. You always make a list as you're going along. And we get out there, and instead of writing gripper on the list, he wrote gribber. I was like, who's tired now? I'm not the only one tired.
Those were just upside down peas. That's all. They look like peas. They were just upside down peas.
Upside down peas. Okay. Hi, Janet. Good morning. We're sitting here at the breakfast table. Got my one of my thrifted cat cups. I'm never going to buy brand new dishes ever again. That's for sure.
Coffee.
Oh, you're going to make more coffee?
More.
So we're working. He worked yesterday to repair where the shelves were that I ripped down, and he did. We were up till, I don't know, we were up late. And he's gotten the texturing on the ceiling done. but he was just checking it. Is it dry enough to prime, or does it need?
Yeah.
So if I get the priming done on that ceiling this weekend, next weekend I can get the ceiling painted with the ceiling white. And then we can start doing walls. Because I figured I could paint that ceiling while he's repairing walls. Where it cracks along a window, that, you know, from the window to the floor or something, he just digs out the old sheetrock.
The tape and joint compound.
Tape and joint compound, and then he just redoes it, and it makes it smooth again.
It won't crack again.
It won't crack again when he's done.
At least not for a little while.
Barb's painting up the bathroom. Boy, it just, ooh. You haven't had breakfast yet, Mary. Goodness. Breakfast is one of the things I could skip. I mean, I could get up and go and start working and work 3 to 6 hours. Scott, he can't do that. He gets up. If he doesn't eat, he'll pass out on me. So I just eat on his schedule and not worry about it. Thanks, Giovanna. It's definitely cooler, and it doesn't like try to smother me. Barb says she's still in bed. What is it you like? Oh, a sanding block. It's got grooves. It catches the dust. We saw those at Home Depot last night, and he said, "Ooh, I have to try this." And he's going, "Ooh, I like this." So, we were talking about this primer that we've been using. It's called Gripper, and we like it 1,000 times more than Kills, just saying. So we will definitely use it always now. Yeah, I need my coffee when I get up. Well, I have to wait about an hour after I get up because I take that thyroid pill, and then you're not supposed to have anything else in your system except that pill for an hour to 2 hours. So that's why I get up before he does and get my day going. Hi, Violet. You're too sleepy to go out in the kitchen. Did you stay up late again last night? Yeah, I have to take other medicine at night, so it doesn't work out for me. Most of the time, I'll catch that thyroid pill, you know, on a trip to the restroom during the night. I'll sleepily take it. So he's got more coffee brewing. I guess we're going to be wired for sound. I think I've already had 2 or 3 cups of coffee, so I probably need to back off, switch to water for a while. I'm really surprised this is working so good because I'm not hardwired. I'm on the Wi-Fi, but
Coffee.
You're drinking out of the old Isuzu cup you got from that truck show that time. All the Isuzu emblems washed off in the dishwasher.
Just like the paint on a Isuzu truck.
Just like the paint on the Isuzu trucks.
That's all scattered.
Yeah. So I was kind of hoping Cole would come back out. He's been being a regular nuisance. Oh, you were knitting. I saw where you said you got some skeins of yarn the other day. We have not stopped at any of the thrift stores down here. We usually will hit at least one up, but we've been so focused on getting, you know, some stuff done. The wisteria is all in bloom down here, so we're really struggling with sinuses. But that's one of those things I love to look at, but I would never purposely plant it in my yard ever because it spreads and you can never get rid of it once it starts spreading, and it will kill everything it wraps itself around. And thanks, Janet. I can hear Scott's moving the little step ladders around and checking his work and sanding on some of the stuff that he did yesterday. But today's goal is I'm going to have to shift furniture around so I can paint the ceiling with the primer. That's the bad part. When you're still kind of living in a house and you still have stuff in the way, you'll like do half of the room and then you have to move all the furniture, and it's a pain in the neck. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Every weekend's a step closer. Hi, Mom Munson. I'm really surprised to see so many of you in here. It is a wool roving, not sure what to make with it. A pretty yellow. You might want to look some things up on YouTube, Mary, to use the wool roving, because I think you can. Don't take this as gold, but I think you can knit something up and then wash it, and it'll bind itself together. I'm not sure. It could make some pretty flowers if you crocheted flowers and then wet it. I might have to look for some wool roving when we're out thrifting. I've got that wool yarn that I need to do something with. Oh boy, Violet. This move for us is because we're only 2 hours away. It's been 3 years, and we've been working on this house, going back and forth. If Scott's sister had not let us use this little cottage for this 3 years, Scott would be driving back and forth to Liberty every day, a 2-hour drive each way, and that just would not last very long. That would have been over a long time ago, I think. But this way, Greg's been able to stay at his job, and he stays here and keeps mind on the house. And we just come down every other weekend and work on it. And it's been a slow process, but it's getting there. I try to focus on every small little step along the way. Once we complete that, we can say, yes, I completed that. Don't look at the huge list that's still in front of us, because when we start doing that, it just overwhelms us. Hi, Peg. Peg says, hi, Scott. We were just exhausted last night. Let's see. Friday nights I stay up until Mary's done with her show. So it was close to midnight when we wrapped up there, and then Scott and I talked and settled in until it was probably 1:30, and then I was back up at 6. My Fitbit said I only slept 4 hours and 9 minutes or something like that, but I knew if I didn't go ahead and get up at 6 when I was awake, I would have gone back to bed, and then we would never have gotten down here yesterday at a reasonable time. So I just got up and started the coffee and started the breakfast and kind of booted him out of the bed and said, let's go. But then we're down here, and I was saying there's so much more in bloom down here. Like the Bradford pear in the backyard is in bloom. And now everybody's cutting the Bradford pears down because they found out it is not a sterile version of it, and that when seeds go off and sprout somewhere, it reverts to its natural form that has these thorns on it. And so everybody's cutting their Bradford pears down now. But I've got a Bradford pear that's blooming. There's wisteria blooming. What else have we seen blooming? Just everything. Our tulip magnolia out front is nearly done. It was really pretty the last time I was down, but now it's just gone. Oh, really? I know Goodwill gets things from Target, and Joann's donates to Goodwill, or at least they used to when I worked there. And filling that paperwork out was a pain in the neck, just saying. And I don't know. But I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. What I was talking about the flowers is it's all this congestion and stuff. See, I had a ton of yarn, and I donated a bunch to a group that was doing Linus blankets. So she came and picked up, I think, 2 or 3 of those big black trash bags. And now I'm finding yarn and getting back into it now that I'm retired. So I'm young enough, I could go back to work if I decide to, but with us working on this house, there's no point in me. If I got a retail job, it requires weekend work, and that just doesn't work. And Scott's tired of me griping about the daily retail fiasco that is retail, put it that way. Yes, I got my hair cut the other day, and she said she undercut it so it would quit flipping up. And I said, well, one side will always go up, one side will always go down. And I even tried to get it a little damp and curl it under. It's doing okay, but it's not great, that's for sure. Yeah, I got about 5 inches cut off, I think. It feels so much better. And I'm sleeping better because I'm not getting smothered by my own hair. It wasn't quite long enough to braid. Scott's whistling while he works in his PJs. He hadn't even gotten dressed, and he's in there spreading compound or sanding or something. Whistling while you work.
I'm doing Schoolhouse Rock.
Oh, you're doing Schoolhouse Rock.
About 3 fast, first thing. Lolly, 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 get your headline.
Oh. Thank you. The girl that was cutting my hair, she said, your hair's the most beautiful color. And I said, I think it's hilarious that I see like these teenagers in early 20s dyeing their hair gray. All they got to do is wait and it'll be gray. Yeah, it is a good bit cooler. I'm still having to use my headband though, because I don't like bangs. So I don't like things touching my head. It's from, I think my grandmother used to pull my hair back off my face. She would pull all this front section, pull it all back in a ponytail, and then she'd take and put a row of barrettes right here. So it was pulled tight in my head. She hated hair in girls' faces. And then when my adopted sister Hazel, she went through this whole thing where she would chew on her hair when she was little, and that drove Grandma nuts. So anytime they came and spent the summer with Grandma and I, Grandma would have Hazel's hair pulled up in a ponytail away from her face so she couldn't chew on it. Oh, that's awesome. There's something on my glasses. I can see it. Yeah, there is. It's sheetrock dust. Imagine that. And I don't have any cleaning pads or anything here, so I'm using my t-shirt. Do you want to say anything, Mr. Scott? Say good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
Hey, Ruby.
I need to fix my hair.
Ah, you need me to shave it. You're getting kind of sticky out of here.
And the little stray onesie-twosies are sticking out.
Time to do the shave.
And shave my whole face.
Yeah. He tries to let his face rest on the weekends from shaving. He likes a little break from shaving on weekends, especially when we're down here.
I make somewhat of an attempt to put on a professional appearance during the week. Hi, Janet.
There's Kendra. Hey, Kendra. I didn't see you pop in.
And Lara.
No, this is what he sleeps in. He just wears a t-shirt and some knit shorts. He doesn't.
This is a little long sleeve t-shirt, and I get these at Kmart. They're cheap.
They're cheap at Kmart. Well, a lot of them don't have Kmarts anymore.
And they're nice and warm. You catch these on sale, they're about $9.
Well, those ones we got for $4 a piece because it was after season.
Yeah.
So
And in the wintertime, we like to keep the house cold at night. We sleep better. So I put one of these things on.
I told him I was jealous the other day. He said, well, you could wear one of my T-shirts.
The older I get, the more clothing I wear when I go to bed.
Yeah, we used to laugh about people wearing socks to bed. Now we both wear socks to bed.
When we were 20-something, we were both like little furnaces.
Furnaces, yeah. Not anymore.
Had practically nothing on.
Hi, Auntie Ro. I haven't gotten a mail. Your ATC's in the mail yet. They're going to go on Monday or tomorrow. That's tomorrow. And to close on our land, we're going to Rock Hill on Tuesday. Woohoo! And I looked it up. It's only about an hour and a half from Greenville.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. So we won't. I'll hopefully be home in time for Lisa and Tanya's project. My hands are itching.
Before I go into full scale drywall sanding and finishing, I think I want to put those doors on that cabinet.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, I can sand this other. No, you said it needs to be trimmed.
Yeah, I just need to trim the bottom of it.
Okay. But if you did that real quick, then I could prime that other laundry room. Not laundry. I keep saying laundry room. It's a linen closet door. We're just trying to line our day up. Yeah, that's where the realtor is located that we use to sell our land.
36033 says we're both looking good.
That's Ruby.
Ah.
That's Ruby. Yeah, we've been to Rock Hill a couple times, and we've been through it to go to Charlotte. When Scott used to have to fly out of Charlotte when he worked at Bose, he could fly out of Columbia, South Carolina, but what they do is they fly you to Charlotte, and then you sit there for 2 hours, and it's only an hour and a half drive from here. So I would just drive him up, drop him off up there, and go up and pick him up.
Or an hour and 15 minutes if I drive.
Yeah, if he drives, it's 15 minutes faster. Yesterday, I was so tired from getting up so early, I just put myself to sleep, and he must have opened it up because when I came back awake, I was like, man, we're quite a ways down.
I looked over and you were softly purring, so I gave it the beans. I let her go.
He gives me a heart attack if I'm awake and my mother-in-law always says, Scott, let Becky drive.
Mother doesn't like for me to drive.
She don't like for you to drive, and she don't like for your sister to drive. Monk's Corner, that's down near Charleston. And we used to go down that way when he was in the reserves still. I got to drink some coffee. I need a Zyrtec.
Well, you just about quit doing the Queen wave.
Well, you picked on me so bad about that.
So
now
funny.
I just put a death grip on the handle of the door and squeeze the door handle. That's what I do.
I'd be driving along, and all of a sudden I'd see this hand go. What are you, the queen over there? Are you waving to your subjects? Who are you waving at over there? And so now she white knuckle grips on the
handle of the door.
Or I'll hear. Thump, thump, thump.
I'm putting the brakes on.
Are you putting brakes on over there?
Yeah, let me drive. We'll get there in one piece. Oh, you know what? We call Charleston. It's like what's it? Crash Derby down there. Yeah. We are every time we go down to Charleston, we look at the all the damaged cars driving around. And my son goes down there sometimes because there's cruise ships that dock and stuff. Sometimes he goes down there to work for Lyft, and he tries to monitor the schedule because he can pick people up that are arriving back on land and takes them home, or he'll pick them up and take them to the ship. But he said it's just almost nerve-wracking to drive down there. Oh, thank you, bud.
There you go.
I don't really need one, but I'll take one. So our nephew went through nuclear training down in Charleston, and he's in the Navy now. Officers training, I guess. Yep, a demolition derby. That's what Charleston, South Carolina is. The only place you're safe is in a horse-drawn carriage because everybody slows down for them. And I would love to go and do one of those Charleston tours in the carriage. It just looks like it would be fun. Hi, Marianne P. Yeah, down there in Charleston, you'll see cars with duct tape on them, holding their fenders on, and just the whole side of a car will be crushed. I worry about Greg when he does go down there to drive because he's just in that little Scion. It's just a little toaster. All right, Peg, you have a good day. When the Confederate sub was there, what was that?
The Hunley.
The Hunley. My aunt and Greg and I went and took the tour and looked at it when it was submerged in the tank. It was really pretty interesting.
Violet went to the shipyard.
Yeah, she said she also walked at the Battery. We've done the Battery a couple times.
At one time, that used to be the second largest naval shipyard in the world.
We haven't seen the Angel Oak Tree. At least I haven't. My sister has. My youngest sister, Rhonda, she went and saw the Angel Oak Tree. And my mother-in-law has seen it. Oh, Ruby, I don't think I'd even try to drive in New York City.
I used to drive in Boston.
Yeah, Scott has experience with driving in Boston and in Chicago.
Yeah, I used to work for Bose Corporation. I worked for Bose Corporation for 14 years.
Yeah.
Best job I ever had. Man, I liked working for them.
You know, that was what I was talking to you guys about the other day, about that was where we thought he would retire out of. And our dreams were that 10 acres of land. That's where we were going to retire to. But all of that fell apart in, 2009?
Yeah. The first few times I drove up there, it was a little nerve-wracking. But there's probably 10 times as many cars as here. But they drive a little better.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't just come to a stop while they're deciding whether to turn or not.
Yeah. And something they do here in the Columbia area, well, they do it in Greenville too, is they'll pull into a parking lot and just stop. And if you're following them in, like if you're turning left in off a traffic light and there's space for 2 cars, if they don't keep on going when they're in the parking lot, then you're stuck out with oncoming traffic coming. That drives us nuts.
As soon as they're in the lot, they stop and then they start scanning for a parking space.
Go ahead and go all the way up to the front of the store and then start looking for a space.
I'm like, do you mind? Can I get out of the roadway, please?
Auntie Rose says she's no good with her thumb typing. Me either. I can hardly type on my phone. Oh, I know. Violet, I so know. You get stuck in that traffic and there's just no getting out of Charleston. If you're stuck at 5 o'clock on a weekday, it's bad too.
Oh, Kathy says that Florida has bad driving. I agree. I lived in Florida for a while.
Yeah. He's lived in a number of places. I've lived basically in upstate New York and then in South Carolina. That's it.
I probably should say this with a grain of salt since I'm approaching my senior years, but there are a lot of senior citizens in Florida that are probably well past their prime driving ages that might be better off looking at alternatives to driving themselves. And that combined with a large transient community of people coming in that are tourists and a large population also of young people that don't drive particularly well, Florida can be crazy.
Yeah. I visited Florida once and I didn't care for it. It's too flat. I need my mountains. And when we drove up for Greg's pass and review ceremony, we were so amazed at the plains and how you could like see forever. I mean, you could see 100 miles away. It was just so flat.
Yeah, that was Indiana. That was amazing. You could look across the highway at a farm field, and there would be crops that stretched all the way to the horizon. I'd never seen that before.
Yeah, we'd never seen it. And no trees. There wasn't really a lot of trees.
No, there weren't a lot of trees.
And then the rest stops were odd. They would be like in the edge of a cornfield. And they'd be oddly shaped. Yeah. And I was like fascinated by the shapes of these buildings because some of them looked like huts.
Yeah.
That trip was very interesting. And I made him do all the driving up there because it was snow and ice in Chicago area. Although when we were driving in, I said, I want to switch. I was driving and I said, I want to switch drivers before we get into Chicago. And then boom, we're in Chicago. And I'm like, where do I go? What do I do? This is crazy. And people are coming at me from different directions. Oh. Ann says she lives in Florida and she couldn't agree with us more on the driving down there.
Yep.
Violet says her husband learned to drive in Chicago, but then Charleston. Yeah. Well, down in Charleston, you have the touristy stuff with the horse and carts, and you've got people looking for places, and it's just a historical nightmare, put it that way. It is a beautiful historical city, but it is so hard to get around in a car. If you can get your car, or if you take a flight, land there, and just get to your motel, and then just get like a Lyft driver to drop you off in downtown and let you just walk. Just walk.
When I was in Florida, I was stationed in Mayport outside of Jacksonville. I was living on the Hayes Gray Motel, the USS Edward McDonald. And it was still a lot of nice little places there. I haven't been there in 30, 40 years now. But you could take the ferry over to the fishing village, and they had little seafood restaurants behind on the beach next to the trawlers.
Oh, wow.
So that was a pretty neat. And there were still sections of A1A along the coast where you could just pull off the side of the road and walk out on the beach, and there wasn't anything there. I'm sure those days are gone.
Mary says she feels closed in with the mountains and trees. And see, we get the opposite feeling. That's a sense of freedom for us. That's like an escape. That being in the woods, it's just so rejuvenating. And we just love to go hiking. He can hike for a little bit, but he can't hike like I could.
My ankles. His
ankles are just in rough shape, but we just love it. We almost made it to the top of Table Rock, and we ran out of water. This young couple saw us and gave us a water because we were looking kind of peaked.
I guess we look pretty pitiful.
So the next time we make the attempt, we will take 2 backpacks, I think, and each have 6 waters.
Well, there were teenagers.
Oh, they were running past us.
Hiking past us, and they would go, "Whoa, y'all are energetic."
Or, "Y'all are doing good for old people." It's like, dang, kid, one day you'll be old too. And I don't think 55 is that old. Grease. Let's see. Oh, we are like 15 to 20 minutes from the Blue Ridge Mountains up there in Greenville, and we just love it.
There's a restaurant in Hendersonville we like to go to that, it's only 40 minutes from the house, really. So it's kind of a little date night. Go up to Hendersonville.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Barb, go get your coffee.
Mary Altier says she has to see out. Mountains and trees block the view.
Oh.
I bet if that's what you grew up with.
Yeah.
I bet you would feel closed in and strange with
but there's so much to see in trees. There's birds and the movement of the leaves, and I don't know. We just love the mountains.
Kathy wants to escape Florida and go to the Blue Ridge.
Yeah, everybody tells us we need to come down because we sometimes gripe about still being cold. But you know what? I'd rather be cold and have my mountains. I've got to be near mountains.
And Greenville is in the foothills.
Yeah, it's in the foothills.
It's hilly, and you get a breeze in the evening from the Blue Ridge.
Yeah.
And you can look out and see the Blue Ridge. It's an hour away.
Ruby said our trees are called skyscrapers. She's in New York.
Yeah.
I'm still youngin' at 55. He'll be 60 in June.
I have a good friend from the Navy in New York.
Yeah, we keep talking about if we go to New York again to see my family, my extended family.
We might go see Al Casella.
We might go. He lives in, where does he live?
Queens.
He lives in Queens.
He inherited Mom and Dad's house.
Oh.
He might be retired now. I think he's old enough. He's a little older than I am. Uncle Al.
Yeah. Well, we're looking for something closer to the mountains, but we don't want to be too far away from Scott's work. Although you said you'd be willing to drive how far if we found the perfect place?
Oh, about 50 miles.
About 50 miles. So
yeah.
A 50-mile radius upwards, not below where you work. We don't like the area below Liberty, South Carolina too much. Yeah, I've got an envelope from Barb. I meant to tell her it arrived on our way out yesterday.
I really like Travelers Rest.
Yeah, we like Travelers Rest. Everywhere we like to shop, we go to the Walmart there. We go to the Goodwill there. We go to Pizza House there. There's just so much up there that we use all the time already. Marianne P. says, I used to live in the Bronx.
The Bronx. Never been to the Bronx.
I love it, Mina. I love to hear the wind in the trees. As long as the trees are not within falling distance of the house.
In Maine, when I lived in Maine, I really liked living in Maine.
Yeah, but now you said it's too cold.
I think my snow shoveling days are behind me.
Hi, Vanessa. Janet said she was born in Brooklyn.
It'd be nice to live in Maine in the summertime and
in the mountains
and live here in the winter.
Yeah, we're not that wealthy. I don't think we can afford, and I don't like the idea of two houses anyway. We're already doing that. We've decided we don't like that too much.
I have 3 of everything. There's one at this house, one at the other house, and one that I've lost.
That'll show up when we move.
And periodically I wind up with all of them at one house, and then I have to buy a 4th one because I need to do something that weekend.
Or we'll go buy one because we think we've brought it back with us from here, but we left it here, but you need it there.
Yeah.
It just gets to be a nightmare. All right, guys. I think we've dawdled enough.
I've got enough coffee in me. This good mood brought to you by coffee.
3 wives? No, 3 wives. No, 1 wife is enough. One husband's enough.
If I could just get the wife I have to do everything I want, I'd be in good shape. I saw that.
I didn't say nothing. All right, everybody, go eat your breakfast. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye now.